manpower.
In a world where there are now fewer checks and balances, and I'm talking about journalistic checks and balances, the danger is that the politician's voice is then not examined and cross-examined as it ought to be.
Charles Feldman and Laurie Oakes are of one mind. The politicians are escaping media scrutiny.
They can present material, including news material, in the way they want it presented, without pesky journalists getting in the way. And here's the most important thing, without having to answer questions. The further this goes, the less accountability we're going to have in the system.
For Sydney University lecturer Peter Chen, the author of a recent book on Australian politics in the digital age, there's more than a touch of self-interest in Laurie Oakes' concern. The Canberra Press Gallery, Chen reckons, is not as indispensable as it thinks it is.
What he's really identifying is that politicians are able to get around the channel that people like Laurie Oakes control and have always been the gatekeepers of. And clearly, if I was employed in that industry, I would be concerned that the industrial base of my salary was being undermined. But this only becomes democratically problematic if you believe the public are a passive bunch of paste eaters and they just consume what they're given.
But that's simply not true, argues Peter Chen, especially of the kind of people who seek out politicians' blogs and Twitter feeds. Labour Senator for the ACT and Minister for Sport Kate Lundy was the first federal politician to set up her own website back in 1996. Now she has an active blog and 15,000 Twitter followers. In her view, what she does is essential because the press gallery is failing in its primary function, scrutinising and reporting government policy.
People aren't getting news anymore about programs. We're not getting asked questions by the media about what we're actually doing. It's all the sort of commentary about how we're doing our job or polls or leadership and issues that people are sometimes interested in, but they don't want a steady diet of it. They actually want some facts in there somewhere about policy and programs.
That frustration, says Kate Lundy, was perfectly exemplified at a press conference held by Minister for Health Tanya Plibersek to announce new funding for medical research at Westmead Hospital.
No questions at all about clinical trials or the investment in patient care that we're doing here today, research and jobs of the future? Nope. Okay, polls then.
Tanya Plibersek accepted that the media that day in February only wanted to ask about polls and the leadership. But Labour MP for Parramatta, Julie Owens, did not.
You know, I mean, honestly, this affects people's lives, what we're talking about today. Do you honestly think the people out there that are going to watch your bulletins tonight care more about me than they do about the health of their children? And you're going to ask about me instead of their children? You know, get real.
For the most part, the media entirely ignored Julie Owens' outburst. But when she posted that video on YouTube, it attracted thousands of views.
I think it demonstrates with the way that went, you know, at least partially viral. It shows that there is a shared frustration amongst the voting public who are hungry for just facts about programs, policy information, actual news about new announcements and so forth.
There are